Welcome back, guys, to Archer's Garage. We got a nice Mac, another Mac. Kind of like this one, the GHT-17 Mcculloch. This one's sprung, a little less vibration. I got it on a trade. I don't know anything about it. I have another one. I've got a home light as well. It's not. It seems like it's a little bit bigger. Let me get that one and I'll show you. It seems like it's a little bigger overall. All right. Maybe an inch or two. This might be a little too big for me. This might sell better. I need something simple. I have a much smaller one. I'll get that out a little later. And I've never seen any of these run, and I'm going to keep the one that I want because I need one. And then we'll off the other. But I know Mac can be difficult to deal with. But it is kind of neat and compact. I kind of like that. It is bigger than the little home light that I have, and I thought the little home light that I had was kind of neat. All right, so let's see what this thing does. Okay, I'm going to focus on this one first. Will it run? I don't know. What do you think, guys? We'll take a closer look. I'm going to clean it off. I don't think there's anything wrong with this thing other than it needs some carburetor work. There's no fuel hose here. Like none. There's no fuel hose there either. Where is the gas tank? Well, I think it goes over here somewhere. Alright, let's get it cleaned up and find out. I'll show you the plug. Okay, this is the same kind of plug. Alright, I took that one out for testing. Alright, it's a lot of oil. So, I'm going to get some of my two-stroke with the tranny in it and flood it out. Try to loosen it up. Alright, then we're going to spin it in a minute. You can see a lot of puke will come out. It feels better already. Didn't feel this nice. It's good. And that can be in the crankcase, but the crankcase on this is very small. So I think once we get it spun, it'll be all right. Let me set that up. Let's spin it out. Yeah, glue. Gotta get a rag on it. You can get some high pressure compressed air in that too. And then we'll do a spark check. All right, let's find out if we have any spark. Stop is down, run is up. Well, they always make nice switches. Let's just see. Hope I don't get shocked. Oh, we got something. Kinda. I saw something. It's very minute. I wonder why that is. Let me get my cable. Now, it could just be the plug. Yeah, that's kind of crappy. Try a different plug. Here's a bigger plug and new. Not the right one, but that's okay. We just want to see if we're going to get anything. Yeah, it's not great. It could also be because she's wet. So, but there's something. I mean, I just hosed it down. But there's something there, and we'll drop this in our. This will clean up. We'll drop this in our degreaser. All right, I'm never a big fan of spinning these nuts. You nuts? But let's just see. Yeah, she's leaking down. Well, we're over set. Oh, we're close to 100. Yeah, this. I'm having a problem with this gauge as well. It's the Zerk fittings in there that give me a problem. But there's enough to light it. And by the judging of the shape of it all, it looks pretty good. And we don't want to keep fooling around with that, making things worse. So now I got to find out how I'm going to get. This is one of the problems with Mac, right? Their fuel tanks are so integral to the body, and you got a plunger here, which we're going to have to replace that because it's broken. So maybe it isn't broken. Maybe it's just really nasty. We can replace it anyway, but. Right? How do you even know where to start? Well, one thing you could do to make life a little easier is you could take the motor out, but there's a transmission. So, there's a lot of crud in the combustion chamber. I can actually see it. It's been cracking oil for a while. But that spray I put in it, that juice I put in it, that's going to loosen it a lot. So there's a little bit of gas left in there, or oil. Let's see what it is. Oh my. What's that? Somebody put oil in it. Yeah, they put oil in it. Just oil. Yep, I've seen that happen before. Look, there's all kinds of crap coming out. Different spots. And there's a combustion chamber, there's junk in it. That's what happens. This will get fouled and you'll never get it to run again. It's probably in the exhaust. Yeah, that's a problem. I gotta find a way to get all this out, guys. I'm just gonna have to get some gasoline and stuff and start flushing this. So we'll take the exhaust out. What do you call it's in there somewhere? See it? There it is. Oh my god, it's blowed up. It's a big one. Right, if we can get it cleaned out, we can reuse it. It's the correct one. It's big. It's nice. But we can fix that. Okay. Time to do a little bit of cleaning and research. I'll start off with the fuel. Pull the carburetor off and put it to the side, and then I'll pull this guy off if I can get it off, and we'll see what's going on.
5 minutes later.
Okay, so I'm about to separate it out. So I took the plastic shield off the top. There is a lug here, ground lug with black, and then there's the switch, and it's just a push-on spade, which is off. And then I already took this off, and I'll show you. Okay, put these off all the way. Make sure all the pieces come. All right, so I'll get this out of the way for a minute. All right, that's your fuel tank chassis. This is your, obviously, your every shit. Now, this is part of, I can't help it, this stupid thing keeps running. That's part of your throttle cable. This came out of one of them. It's like a, I think it came out of the one over here. Yeah, they all have them, see? These little ferrules, we don't want to lose these. So, those help spread the load. I took the top one off, and probably you want to be mindful if you're going to wash this or something. Be mindful of these. See how they come up? Let's get these up so that we don't lose them. So I took those off first. Now in a little bit we can work on this part. Carburetor came out. We can clean the engine really good after I get the muffler off. So we're going to put that to the side in a minute. Nice little setup, right? I like Mac stuff. I do. It's a bit of a pain, but... So, this is the chassis. Somewhere in here are going to be the penetration. Ah, here they are. Well, here's one. The broken hose there. This is like a filter or something. Yeah, there's the other one, I think. Or that's just a filter. Let's take that out. Up, down here. Yep, there it is down there. So you got one up here and one down there. Which one is which? I don't know. And we got to get this junk out. There's a lot of junk in there. So once we get this junk out, it all really nasty. Got to get it all out. So I'm going to go get some gasoline. It's the only thing I can think of. And then we'll use whatever else we have to later. But we'll start off with a little gasoline. And we can rinse it with the hose as well. I'm going to start on that first, guys, and then we'll get to everything else. That way, because if it gets wet, I can let it dry for a little while.
5 minutes later.
Yeah, you can tell I'm making a mess. It just threw up all over the place. This is the second rinse with gas. And we'll go blow it out. And I rinsed it with water after the first rinse with gas. And now we're going to go blow it out and wipe up. So this part, I can leave it sit out in the sun, because when I'll probably go make some dinner. And so, you know, it could be an hour. It's sitting out in the sun. It'll be clean. There'll be no water left in it.
Much later.
Let's take a look at the carb. I know the fans are on. It's so hot in here. It's hotter in here than it is outside. Let's go look off the outside first. We'll take a peek inside in a minute. We'll open it up. We'll crack it. Okay, so the diaphragm, probably can't hear it because of the noise in here, but hear it? No good. Does that? No good. Now they've got a different diaphragm over here. and there's just a lot of oil in it. Look, it's just a lot of oil. I think this one feels like it's okay. So we're gonna wash this one careful. I'm just gonna wash everything out real careful and put it back together with a fresh diaphragm. I'm not gonna try and take it off yet. I use a little brake cleaner, not gum out. Blot it. There doesn't seem to be any junk in it. We're not going to try to pick it up. Okay, we're going to just blow it. Low pressure. Sometimes it'll come off after you've washed it and what have you. Yeah, see? Yeah, if you can, after you've washed it a few times, it'll loosen its grip. It didn't want to come off. So let's just see. This one's all rounded over. I always round one of them over, and you do that with a light file and then a polishing wheel. And we're just going to see. I'm not going to force it. Yeah, see, it may not want to go. You always have more success if you don't try to make things do what they're not willing to do. Alright, so the diaphragm on this one, the diaphragm, these little flappers always go against the machine surface. And this, like I said, this has been rounded over, so I don't cut it by accident. I nick it. A bit more. Alright, I'm going to get this off, take a quick peek, hit it with a little bit of cleaner. Yeah, I think I got it. I got to make sure I get underneath it. I think we already damaged it. See what I mean? Yeah. It's not bad. It's just on the end. Yeah, so I shouldn't have taken it off. I don't think I have another one of these. But it's just the gasket area. It should be okay. Like I said, there's often no reason to do anything to it. Okay, it's on more of the outside of the seal, but it should be okay. Well, we'll find out, won't we? Right? But this is a Zama. So we can look through the other Zamas that I have and see if I have that particular one. But these are different. Okay? Take your needle and seat and depress it and squirt it in there. Flush it. Alright, let me take these jets out. We'll blow through there again. This should be okay. Alright, we'll be back in a bit.
A few moments later.
Here's one that, I don't think this one's a brand new, but it's in such good shape. I'm going to put a little bit of sauce on it. Both sides, just a little bit. And it's a Zama, so. And that's it. I don't have that much fuel line left, so I don't know if, I think I have enough to do the next couple of projects that I wanted to do. You could just, you know, when they make all kinds of noise when you just touch them, it's like crickets. It sounds like crickets, it's no good. Alright, so there's a hole in the bottom and a hole up here with a vent. Okay. Hole up here with the vent. That's the vent, and that's the hole, and there's a hole here where the tube is. We're going to guess that the one on the bottom is the one you want to put the pickup on. That's your feed. Alright, so we got that through. We can get it on. We're good to go. So I cleaned this filter, weighted filter out. Might want to put a little something on that. And it was oil fouled, you know, oil plugged. You want to make sure you clean them out good because that oil will stop the fuel from flowing through. And hopefully, you know, you get all the debris out as well. Alright, that's on there pretty good. Alright, fresh hose. Done. Okay, so I'm going to pull it back through. Hopefully I still have enough material. So it can pretty much go all the way to the back. Generally, you're kind of cutting like this, or a little bit like that, so it's laying in there in a good spot. And don't know when the carb is sitting on. I think it's like this. Alright, so this is the feed. So she's kind of going to come up this way. So we may not have enough to put. I don't really know. I may have to temporarily mount it, because I barely have enough left to do this. So I don't think I'm going to have enough for the next machine. And I'm guessing it comes, yeah, it kind of comes across the top. Alright, this comes there. So it can kind of lay in there. You have a little bit of slack. That should do it. And then the other one that comes across here, that's going to come from the other. And then I don't think we're going to have enough to do this. You can't pull it too taut. I think right about here should do it. And the other is actually two lines. One comes up into the push button and then over. So I don't think I'm going to have enough. Yep. I don't think we're going to have enough, guys. Let's see what happens. I mean, this was all, you saw it was all covered in oil, so we're going to put it back on. Had to rinse it out. I mean, it was coated. Just coated. So, I want to put a little bit of, you'll get a little bit of anti-seize and put it on there. Then we'll put this back on and we're going to start assembling. You know, I don't really know how I would get to the underneath here. I peeked inside and by taking off the bottom plate, and there's all the gears and everything. I don't think you want to do that. It's in good shape. I shouldn't have to do anything in there. So let's just clean it out like I did. I gave it another bath, rinsed it all the way through, and blew it out. And let's start putting it back together again. I think it looks good. So I cleaned up the plug. I gapped it to 25 thousandths. It was a little big, and I put a little bit of the no seize on it. So I'm going to put that in. So here's what I did with the hoses. Okay, let's get some fuel in it, get the plug in it. And before I put the top on, I want to push the primer bulb and see if we're getting juice through everything. Yeah, that's nice and neat. This little tie wrap. Okay, got something going on. Okay, we got juice flowing. All right, looks a little milky. I don't think there's anything left in there. I know it's not green. It's more of a brown. But it looks good. All right, let's get the top on. I put a little oil on that because we have problems with those. And I'm going to wipe this out a little bit. We're going to get a little oil in there and over by where the key is and pull it a few times. And let me put it on and then we'll see what happens.
Soon after.
All right, let's see what happens. We got choke on. It should be ready to go. Let's pull up the handle and give it a couple of tugs. Okay, let's take the half choke now. Now what we want to do now, see the hose is in the way here. I want to turn up the idle if I can. How do you do that? I don't remember now. Now the low and high is here, so we can get at those. I thought there was an idle adjustment screw somewhere. Now I don't remember where it was. Alright, let me get a little adjustment on it, we'll see. Everything with this is flat blade, which is nice. you have to do. Let's see if we have to open it. Let's turn up. It's hard to see with the cover on, but there is a idle adjustment screw here, which we're going to crank on that, so we get a little more idle out of it. Mac quality. All right, I gotta lube the blade. I gotta put the air filter back on. When we get the air filter back on, we'll do a final tune. This is a little bit of a bog, but that's okay. You know, it doesn't matter as long as it comes up to the right speed. And sometimes if you're getting a little bit of a bog because you've got the screws in a little too far, and then when you pull the screws out a little bit and the bog goes away, but it doesn't run as high, sometimes it's actually better because you're getting a little bit of a richer mixture. It won't run so lean and you won't burn the saw out and overheat it. So dance that a little bit. So we'll cover it one more time. We're going to put the air filter back on. I'm going to retest after she cools down. And you might have to do it a couple of times. You know, warm it up good. I mean, the first run, you see it's all filthy and full of gack from what happened to it. Then I rinse it out. You see a lot of smoke. So the first run, you can't expect to have a super sweet tune on it. The second run, when you go to start it, you'll see if there's any other issues. Not starting right. The adjustment seems now completely different. That's another thing you want to look out for. So you get another adjustment. Let it cool down again. And the third time should be, if everything starts well and seems like it's okay and it's pretty much where you left off and you want to give it a little extra, give it that little bit extra. Once again, let it cool down. All right. And then try it again. And if you see that you need to go back to the way you had it, that's your chance to do it. And I recommend going through those procedures if you're going to be selling it. I'm going to be keeping this one so I can do it a little bit at a time. All right, so I'm going to put this back on. We're going to lube up the chain, the cutter. Everything else looks good, guys. I'm very happy with it. So will it run? Yeah, it's going to be mine now. I like the compact nature of it as opposed to the big home light. So I'm very happy. Rescued. Another one rescued. Arch's Garage. Of course, I always like to put a little clear on it when I'm done. I can't help myself. And that protects it too. Keep it nice. Alright, this is the little home line I was telling you about. This one I had redone. I bought this one new years ago. I think. I seem to remember. If you haven't run it in a while, push the primer bulb a lot. It was well constructed. It's got a nice switch over here. Everything else looks good. I'm pushing the primer bulb and I see some stuff coming up there. I put some different hoses in it. Not one of my better jobs, but a good hose, though, that lasts a long time. Let's give it a shot and see what it does. We gotta put some choke on. There we go. He hadn't been run, so. Okay guys, it runs really well. This says here, crafted in USA, and I did get this a while back. You know, I'm old now, so a while back for me is, you know, but I kept it nice, right? That's why I say it's light. It's a nice machine. Let me get the other one. So this is, pick it up, it's light. It's lighter, they're about the same weight. This is a little bit smaller tank than this one. This is more almost like a chainsaw design of the Mac. They're both very nice. You know, they really are. But this is easy to work on, easy to adjust. But this one's not all that hard either. Really isn't. So it's hard to say. I'd like to keep this one and match my other two Macs that I have now. I got two chainsaws. So we'll keep this one just to have a nice little Mac family, and I gotta finish lubricating it. I put on the guard and the filter housing, and let's get the other one real quick. Now, I don't think I have the hoses for this. It may not need hoses. Well, it needs one hose, and I don't have enough hose for it, sadly. And let's see, which hose does it need? Yeah, it needs the pickup hose, so I need a lot more. I don't have enough. But this is the bigger brother. Very nice trimmer, right? It's a bigger brother. So when we get this running, nice stuff, right? This is a nice little machine. Honestly, this is all you need for most of your just general duty. This is just a little bit bigger, not much. And the holes are about the same. So I just wanted to show you guys that. Hopefully we'll get this thing running soon, just as a comparison to the yellow guy. Now this would be a little nicer to have. These are basically the same. If you think about from guard to guard, right? This is the same bar. Whereas this is definitely a bigger, yeah. We want to kind of line it up guard to guard, yeah. Okay. So this is bigger than the other ones. So if you wanted something with a little bit bigger cutter on it, this would be the one to go for. All right, but you're going to have more weight. All right. All right, guys, we'll be back. I'll see you on the next one.